The TrekWorks YouTube channel is sponsored by HDA ModelWorks, suppliers of scale lighting products, detail accessory parts, and complete model kits. Visit HDAModelWorks.com today.
Welcome back, everybody. Boyd here with you again. Well, here we are today for the grand finale of our AMT 1/25th scale Batwing. I worked on this another afternoon since the last video and got it all finished up. I can't say enough what a great little kit this is, you guys. It went together like a breeze. All the seams, I didn't have to use a single drop of putty on this entire model, and that's with doing lighting and everything. I did use a couple of little spots. I had to fix a couple little spots, mainly at the very back here that had a light leak. I sealed out most of the lighting, but I had a little bit of this blue lighting in here for the engines, and that was leaking a little bit in the back. But just a little bit of black craft acrylic paint, dabbed in the little gaps with a brush, and then I let it dry about an hour, and then sanded it down, and then went back and painted over it again with all the airbrush colors that we used, and blended that all in, and it worked out great. I thought I was going to have big leaks all the way around the edges here, you know, where the body connects to the wings, but none at all. It just worked out really, really good. You can see we got it sitting here on this really cool backdrop that comes with the kit, of a picture of Gotham City. Really nice night shot there with the moon and the skyline in the background. And you can just imagine the Batwing flying around in this kind of a scene. Just really, really cool. It's right out of the original '89 Batman movie. And of course, the big thing that we did here is, you know, we added lights and everything, but we came in and did all this airbrush painting. This took me about 2 hours to do all of this. I did the top and the bottom of the wings. We did. I sprayed the entire model down with a matte black, and then I came back with a little bit of this iridescent blue that kind of appears and disappears depending on how the light hits it. And then we shaded a little bit with some gray on the trailing edges of all these panels, and then I topped it off with a little bit of Tamiya weathering powder on top of all the little rivet details here on the paneling, and I think that really made it pop. It just added that little extra thing to it, and it looks really, really cool. It looks really close to the box art, and that's what I was kind of shooting for. Got the cockpit all done here. Added a little extra detail in the cockpit. Got the grab handles for the ejector seat. Some stuff I saw on the pictures I found of the original filming model. We corrected the missiles. They have you building these missiles where they stick really far out, and cut those down and just have the tip sticking out like they were in the movie. Got the Gatling gun over here on the side that pops out of this little hatch. That's really cool. You can see this will close right up. It's got kind of like a little spring effect to it. It's a little harder to get open. You got to get your fingernail on that little edge, but it fits together, and you can see it closes up really nice. So I guess without further ado, we'll go ahead and turn the lights on for you here and show you that. You can see we've got some headlights here at the front. Those are lighthouse LEDs. The rectangular shaped ones are about the brightest you can get for a 5mm. I wanted to do that for a reason. I wanted these to be really bright, you know, like aircraft landing lights. You got some lights down below here too, by the landing gear bays. You got the forward machine guns. You got the machine guns in the wings. I did a little bit of blue lighting on the intakes, engine intakes here, with some screens behind it. That was my own little idea, not canon to the ship, but I just think it looks really neat, and it adds a little bit of you know, contrast to the rest of the lighting, and the blue kind of blends in with everything. Here's some lighting in the cockpit. We got a 0805 fast changing, color changing RGB there up front to give that little bit of animation, and then I did some static lights in there, different shades, using a couple of SMDs. Kind of hard to get you the cockpit shot or the dashboard shot there because it's kind of recessed, but we got some lighting going up there, a couple of scopes, a couple of switches. Then over here on the side we have more. I'll drop Batman in there in a second, but it's easier to see all this without him in there, and that's working really good. I'm going to later on when I get it on its permanent base, I'll be setting up a separate switch so the guns can be turned off and on. I have them wired separately. And I'm using flickering LEDs in there right now. And they give a neat little effect of it kind of pulsing a little bit like they're animated. I can always come back later since I have separate wires for that. And I can get a little board and I can connect, you know, maybe Ralph might have a board or something. Or I can find a little board somewhere that does the pulsing, quick pulsing. And I can always hook that up when I, you know, because I can put the board in the base. So I'll think about that later, but I'm not really worried about it. I think they look pretty good. Here's our little Batman figure. I'll go ahead and drop him in there now. He just usually just drops right in there for me. There he goes. And we'll close the canopy for you. The canopy fits really good on this. It closes up nice and tight. Did a little bit of work. Put a little bit of sandpaper on the little joint up here. Just some fine grit sandpaper I glued onto that hinge. So it's got some friction on it. So you can see now when you raise up the canopy, it'll stay. Where if you don't do anything with that, it'll just keep flopping. It won't stay open. But it closes down nice and tight. And you can see on the bottom base down there, I did a little bit of the same metallizer we did up here. You know, I just did the same kind of weathering look on the Batman logo. I was going to do the yellow, but I thought it was going to be too loud. It just didn't fit with everything else. Everything else is a darker color, and so I thought it might blend in if I kind of weather that and make it look more subdued. You can notice it's there if you look, so that worked out pretty good. Now you can see the beauty of this iridescent is that when you turn off the lights here, it mostly disappears. You know, you can just see it highlighting on some of the edges every once in a while, but now the ship more looks a little bit black like it did in the movie. So that worked out really, really good. And really happy I took the time to do that extra paint work. So, okay, you guys, well, that's pretty much it for the Batwing. If you guys have any questions about any of this, I'll be happy to answer. Just drop a line in the comments, but you can always go back and look at the first two videos. I pretty much covered everything on this. If you want to see how I did all the lighting, I showed how I did that. And we spent a good amount of time doing all the airbrushing here to show you how we did all that. So using these videos, hopefully if you haven't built one of these before, or if you're new to modeling, you can use some of that stuff to help you build your kit. I really hope you go out and get one of these. They're readily available. They're not expensive. And it's just a super, super little kit. It's a real gem of a kit. I really like it. I actually went ahead and bought another one just to keep it in my stash. So I had an absolute blast working on this. So, okay, guys, I promised that a couple of the commenters were asking some questions about the '89 Batmobile, and I actually built that kit a couple of years ago, and they wanted to see it. So we're going to close this video up. We'll come back and have a look at the companion kit to this in the same scale. And it's a really nice little kit, too. We'll show you that in just a second. Be right back. Okay, you guys, well, here's a look at the AMT 1989 Batmobile Kit. This is 1/25th scale as well. It's a nice little companion that goes with the other Batwing kit. And this kit didn't come with a Batman figure, though. I don't know if they all do, or maybe the newer ones do. But this was a great kit, too. It went together beautiful. Same basic, you know, ease of build. It was really easy to light and do all the cool stuff to it. You can see I've still got that same paint scheme going on this one, with a little bit of that iridescent blue over top of the you know, over top of the black, and it just shimmers really nice. Got all the lighting in here. You got the lights at the back, and then you got I did a turbine effect in there. The turbine effect is done with a 5mm flickering amber LED, just pointed straight at it. I drilled out the little holes in the cone there. The taillights are lit with 0805 red SMDs, one each. And same thing up here in the front. These little bat ray lights, I think they're called, are just a couple of 0805 orange SMDs. And this actually, I don't have the little stand for it, but this whole little turbine engine can slide out too, so you can see all the detail on it. I've got the extra machine guns that I made for it here. You can display it, you know, with or without the machine guns deployed. I put little brass pins in there because the little ones that came with the kit were just not very good. The guns would just kind of flop around and everything. But we've got the detail of the cockpit too. If I can get this opened up, you guys can see that in there. Got some lighting going on in there. That's just a couple of, over on the right, that's a blue SMD for the little screen. And that's I think it's a 0805 SMD in the middle lighting up all the little gauges. Now those I did the old-fashioned way before I learned how to use the solar res. That's just some clear plastic that's been glued in behind the gauges after I opened them up, and then individually painted with different colors of transparent. But you got all the cool little bat levers and everything down there in the floor, and I did some weathering on the interior and stuff. And just a really neat kit. I smoked out the glass and had a lot of fun with that too. You got all the little details on the side. This was a great little kit. I've got sound effects with it and everything too. It plays the Batman theme and some dialogue from the movie. But just another really excellent kit, and it comes with this nice backdrop. I've actually made a little emitter that can emit the bat signal on there, but right now the batteries are dead. I was going to show it to you guys, and I had a big plan of doing that, but the batteries are dead. It's just a little pen light thing, and I was going to take the lens out of it and make my own little housing and everything for it to make it look more like the bat signal, and I'll eventually get around to that one of these days. A couple guys out there have done some really nice scratch-built bat signals that look really cool, and I think there's a 3D printed one you can get too. But really happy with both kits. This one was about 2 years ago, and I got an award for this at one of the model shows. They really liked that blue paint job on it and everything, and then the cockpit detail. So a lot of fun working on both kits, you guys. Thought you'd enjoy seeing that. So we'll be back in a couple of days now. I'm gonna the next kit that we're gonna work on is going to be the 1/1000 scale Discovery Enterprise. That kit's on its way. Jerry, my good friend Jerry at HDA Model Works, just let me know that he got them in, and I'll be getting the kit here in a couple of days. The Aztec decals are on back order, but we're going to go ahead and build the model. We're going to light it and make the engine spin and do all the painting and everything on it, and we can always come back and do the Aztecs a little bit later. But that's going to be a really fun kit. It's about 18 inches long, about the exact same size as the original AMT Enterprise. That's a really nice size for a kit, so hope you guys will tune in and check that one out. Got some more Star Trek coming for you. Okay, you guys, I hope you enjoyed this whole video build series. Back over here again on the Batwing. Just had a lot of fun with it. Like I said, it was a great little kit to work on, and I hope you guys enjoyed this. Again, if you have any questions about anything I did, you can reference the other first two videos on this where I covered how I did all the lighting and stuff, and the painting and all that. But if you have any other questions, just let me know in the comments, and I'll be happy to answer them. Okay, you guys, we'll see you next time. And as we always say, take care and happy modeling, everybody.